I wonder if Brian knows about the joke.
I don't know, but you can tell me later.
Do you know about this joke?
No.
Okay.
I don't know about any joke. Okay.
Alright.
I think we're back.
We're back.
We'll explain it later.
Alright, Tony. Yes, we were frozen. Now we should be back. I don't know if I can see this to double check that it's actually not frozen anymore.
I'm looking.
Wow, we are having technical difficulties today. I have no idea what caused that, to be perfectly honest. But we're unfrozen on this side.
Brian
Audio levels
Says we're
are good.
live.
Maybe you should get some better internet.
So
Intranets.
I do have glorious internet here at my house.
Do you have send internet messages?
What?
Do you ever send internet messages?
And today, like literally this morning, before you guys came over, you're gonna be excited to know. I don't know whether we. I have no idea whether this is working or not.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind, so it's hard to say.
Even
Frozen 2 is out.
Oh, Wesley Winford's here. Hello, my friend.
Hey, bud.
We had tacos together recently.
Oh, why you gotta say tacos, dude? Now I'm hungry. Some Dos Bros tacos.
So I've got
Always
no
hungry.
data according to YouTube.
And it's also not. I'm just getting a spinning wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
so
not-
okay, we're gonna have to start a new event.
Yeah.
Start a new event.
This is
Alright.
frustrating.
Well, you know, life gives you lemons. You gotta just make lemonade.
It's annoying.
Hey, everyone.
No, we're good. It's right here.
You see it?
I just
Oh,
stopped
okay,
it.
cool.
We're done.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, I just
Tony
showed it
said
to you.
it-
It's still
that we're
here, so
good.
this is me showing you again.
Tony
I know,
says
but
we're
it's
good.
behind.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Maybe we can come back to it.
It doesn't look like it stopped.
It does say live now.
Tony just messaged me and said that it was still on.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well, okay,
obviously...
that was weird. So the button that let Brian stop it didn't let him stop it. Let him
Wow.
stop it.
But yeah, but it might, since YouTube is behind, it might have stopped it. All right, well, so...
Well,
Tony said it's still going,
if it's
so we're
live,
on.
we're talking like after. We're still a minute behind, and I'm still seeing it.
okay.
Okay. We're on. We're live. What's up, everybody?
Now what's going to happen is when I actually want to stop it, I won't...
We're just gonna have to plug the computer out.
Turn the
Hold on.
computer off.
You guys speak amongst yourselves.
All right, we're good.
And I'm going to go see if I can get...
All right, is
control-
this the future?
Get control of this video again.
It's live. Okay, we're in.
All right, I'll
Hey,
say
everybody.
this though. Black Magic. I had a question the other day. This was on Facebook. What cameras do I use? That's a good question. So I use two main cameras that I use, and I have my main camera for video shots is the Black Magic Pocket 4K cinema camera.
Is that it?
Yeah, I have two of them.
That's-
One's filming us now. There's one over there. And so they're awesome cameras for any sort of studio video work. And you're seeing it right now in a live situation. So there's no processing being done to it. It's just sending out.
What?
And the other camera that I use is a Canon EOS R, which I love. I use it. It's right over there. Can you grab it, Fuller?
Yes, I can. This one?
Yes. No. The one
This
on the
one?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, this is the one you were telling me about.
So this is the Canon EOS R. This is
Oh, that thing makes me look like I know what I'm doing.
a mirrorless. You would call these an SLR, but that means single lens reflex, and there's no mirror in here, so that's not how that works. So this is a mirrorless camera, and I love this thing, and I use it in pretty much every shot. It's like our handheld third, auxiliary shot, and I use it for vlogging. But Black Magic recently put out a Black Magic recently. They make a series of if you do any sort of live video production in your church, you should definitely look into Black Magic's product line as far as live switchers. So you can run, any number of cameras into them, and then
Bang for the buck, right?
yeah.
They're-
And we use them in all of our churches, and they make different levels of switchers, so you can run all of your video signals into it, and then switch cameras for your live feed and that kind of thing. But they make switchers for smaller productions, like what we're doing right here, and they just released
How
one.
dare you?
Yeah. They just released one called the ATEM. The
It's small
ATEM is their
production.
line of switchers.
ATEM,
The
yeah.
ATEM Mini. And the Mini
That's
is awesome.
cool.
You can run 4 cameras into it.
Very cool.
And XLR audio and switch everything. And and it creates. You can come join us in a little bit. It creates.
And it's very reliable.
If you want to live stream, it's perfect because
Yes.
it creates a stream ready signal that just USB into your computer, and then you can send it to YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Yeah. My setup is extremely complicated and obviously doesn't work
unnecessarily.
It doesn't work very unnecessarily complicated. It doesn't work very reliably. So it's been back ordered forever, but this morning it was in stock and I bought it.
Oh, did you?
So for the next, yes, I did.
Did you overnight it?
No, I didn't.
That's going to be pointless because we're not going to be here. Because we're going to NAM.
That's right. That's what we need to talk about.
Yeah, we got some NAM comments
Morning, Vietnam!
All right.
That's a whole different
Michael
thing.
Scott.
No, that's... Yes, it is Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
But then...
Filling in for Dwight.
Yeah.
The middle guy is still frozen. Oh, wait, he just moved.
He fell asleep. I sang a lullaby to him about
That's
cameras
funny.
and switchers.
That's funny.
All right, so let us know your questions below. What is that model, Brian? Josh? What model? The Blackmagic switcher, the Blackmagic switcher that I would recommend. Well, I haven't used it yet, so I'll let you know in a few weeks of live videos. But it's called the ATEM Mini. That's what it's called.
Hey, can
$300, and you can run 4 cameras and audio into it.
Which is what everyone needs.
Yeah.
Can we plug Lambertone real quick? Because someone said my
Please.
Lambertone pickups are coming.
Yes.
So I put my cremas in my Les Paul, and I started working on a hard rock album, and they sound so good. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to hear it. It sounds
They do
awesome.
sound good.
Hey fellas, I don't know what the topic is, but what's a good keyboard to get for church, for pads, and most bang for the buck? Great question.
Yamaha or Cassie has those little ones that can be
Casio.
powered by B batteries. You need like 12 B batteries.
Nice.
It's perfect.
That's a great question. We've been talking a lot about keys lately.
Yeah.
I'd say any good MIDI controller that has a lot of faders and buttons. There's 2 ways you can go. You can buy a keyboard that has all the sounds in it, like a Motif or a Triton. They're extremely expensive, and in my opinion, they're not as flexible as using software-based sounds like MainStage. I've pretty much completely switched over to MainStage for my live stuff. I have an Arturia 88 Keylab, which is awesome. But there's a ton of great MIDI keyboards out there. Arturia makes stuff. Native Instruments. Brian has a NK. What are those called? The NK. The controls,
with
controls,
K,
the
with K.
Native Instruments.
Control S49.
Yeah. So
it's an older version.
if it were up to me, I would get a MIDI controller with a lot of buttons and faders, 88 keys preferably, a laptop with MainStage, and you're off and running. That's what I would do if I was starting from scratch.
What about if somebody doesn't want to use MainStage and they want a keyboard with sounds built in?
The Yamaha Motif, I think it's called the MOX now. It started as the Motif. I don't even know what the latest model is.
It's like...
What is it? MOX or MXF or FX8 or something like that?
We have one.
Yeah. They're expensive, very good sounds, not very user-friendly to use. And then there's also the Korg Triton is a very, very popular live keyboard, but they're hard to use. I mean, they're not hard to use. You turn it, but if you want to tweak sounds,
The starting out, it's awkward.
Yeah. So it's a big learning curve for those. But if you want a basic, simple setup where people come in, turn it on, and start playing, you could go Motif or Korg or something like that.
But the money you spend on a Motif,
Yeah.
you're gonna need. Like if you were to do a MainStage rig, you would probably get pretty close, if not more, because you'd need a laptop. And if you use your laptop, that may be different. But if
The laptop is the most important, expensive piece.
But if you're going to use like your laptop, then of course like MainStage is like $30.
Man, there's a lot of chatter going on here about keyboards.
Yeah, there is.
We need to cover keys more.
We will.
But Bradford, I appreciate this, and this will speak to you, and probably you too, Fuller. Josh Robinson said the Korg Triton UI is worse than the Kemper. Korg needs to fire themselves in that case. Because let me tell you,
Yamaha's not any better when it comes to the keyboard stuff.
So Bradford and I are committing to more Kemper content this year. And so Bradford built, is that your sigh of frustration with Kemper?
Yes. Also, it's Friday and I'm just really tired.
Okay. Bradford needs some more coffee.
Bradford,
I haven't had any coffee.
Do you need something?
No, I'm
Here, take a
fine.
shot of this. It's Stoke. Cold brew. No cream.
We've been committing to more Kemper content. Bradford has actually made like 7 or 8 performances recently that we're in the process of releasing. I've been trying to put performances together, and gosh, I'm reminded how much I hate working with Kemper. It sounds awesome, but man, I hate it as far as like the UI. If Jonathan Sullivan is here, he's going to reach through the computer screen and wring my neck, but because he loves Kemper. I don't. All right.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing too with the pads or the keyboards, they're wanting to use pads. If you're wanting to use pads, and I'm not saying this to toot our own horns, the easiest way to do it is with the main stage pads player.
It's so good.
It'll revolutionize your life.
We have a video coming out soon where Fuller demonstrates exactly how to do it.
Yeah,
and it's
touch of a button, any key, crossfade.
Yeah, it's so easy. And if you use Mainstage makes it because you can create great sounding pad patches in Mainstage. Yeah. You can either buy them from people or just come up with your own that are built in, and they sound way better than what you get built into a keyboard.
And if you have Logic, you get all those sounds as well. Yeah. So it's great. Oh man. Any recommendations for an acoustic guitar leading worship with just piano and a cajon soon? Just acoustic guitar.
Yeah. What's your budget? Is the first question. Because you can go anywhere. We have recommended on the channel before. If you're wanting something a little more budget friendly, you can go with the Martin, what is it, 001AXE or something like that. It's a 000 body style, which I really like.
I can see it in my head, but I don't know.
I think I'm going to look it up right now because this is a great question. Martin 000, or is it 0?
If money is no object, do you want this right here?
Yeah.
Just send Brian a huge check and I'll send this to you.
That's an object of money.
This is you get what you pay for, though. I'm telling you, the McPherson is amazing.
It's OOOXAE. That might be it. We have a video on it. Just look up budget acoustic on our video or on our videos, and you'll find it. I really like Martin acoustics as far as like if you want to spend a little more. If you want to go in the $2,000 range, like I have a D35 over here that is an excellent guitar. Bradford has a Martin 00
17.
17?
I think there's a
They don't make it anymore though.
Not that they do something similar. I don't know why, but they
But if you can get a Martin like OM style, we like Martin style guitars. The McPherson, now if you go up to like the $3,500 range, the McPherson carbon fiber Sable is fantastic. And then if you want to go up to the $10,000 range, the McPherson,
which we all do, don't we?
The McPherson Camriel gets my vote. Okay,
dude, I second that.
But also I've heard we didn't mention AMI, did we?
Oh, AMI makes we did a video on them, and they're back.
What do you mean?
They went out of business and then they got bought back.
Oh, really?
So AMI is back, yeah.
Oh. Well, and then there's Orangewood, which somebody mentioned. I've never tried them.
We need to review one of those.
Yeah, I've never tried them, but I've heard them just on like iPhone mics from people, like videos, and I've heard they sound and feel pretty dang good, especially when you consider they're not very expensive.
Well, I'll give my plug too. I've had the same acoustic guitar for 14 years. It's an Ibanez. It's an older model, but it plays great. It sounds great live, and I've recorded literally thousands of tracks with it. Very happy with it. I think I paid $500 for it with a Fishman electronic system in it. So you can also get some lower line stuff. I think the key with buying an acoustic guitars, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, is actually going to where they're at. And even if there's 20 of the same ones, pick them up and play each one, and one of them will call your name quietly.
And we haven't mentioned Taylor. We haven't mentioned Breedlove. There's a lot of brands that make really good stuff.
The 614s are amazing.
Even like one thing, if you can get into like the
814s.
So this person said the budget was $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
You can get. There's a lot of availability in there. I've played a lot of the Epiphone Masterbuilt stuff that is really good.
Epiphone makes great acoustic guitars.
Epiphone's cheaper stuff I don't like as much, but they have a line called Masterbuilt, and I really like those guitars. They're really nice. So anyway,
that's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with $1,500.
Good. Tony has a good question, leadership question. How do you stay in your lane when there are so many other areas of ministry that you can help and they are asking?
And that need it probably.
Not sure how not to.
We have a video in the worship manual about this called The Art of Saying No.
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Tony, I don't know if you've read the book. Tony's on the West Coast. Tony, are you coming to NAM? Let us know if you're coming to NAM. I'd love to hang out with you. Tony, if you haven't read the book Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud, that's a fantastic book.
Henry Cloud is a genius.
Fantastic book. And that helped me a lot as I started growing in my leadership, learning how to say no to things that I felt guilty for saying no to.
Yeah. But it really does come down to setting up those boundaries in your life and learning how to protect them. And it's hard to do.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Going through comments here.
He says he feels guilty. That feeling is real, Tony.
That is
I mean,
that is real.
we're all there, but once you do, here's the thing. Once you do it once, it gets easier. You do it 2 times, it gets easier.
Yeah.
You start saying no more, and then you have this reputation, like
the no guy.
like, well, but you need to make sure that like Fuller has a reputation that like if Fuller will say no, it's because like he's protecting time with his family.
Amen.
It's because he values other things that are valuable and puts them and people respect that.
Yep.
If you just say no just to be a jerk, people don't. But
Exactly.
That's not what you're talking about.
Well, the other thing too is I try to budget. Your time is your biggest currency, right? It's the one thing you can't buy more of and you can't sell it. It's like, so budget your time. And if you're a kind of person that likes to serve other people, budget how many hours a week that you'll do that. That way then you have to prioritize. But if you like to help your neighbors, put on your calendar, or whatever, 2 hours of my week I will donate or I will do this, and then you can, because you still got to be smart about it. Otherwise you can get really abused and get unhealthy.
I think an easy way to make sure that you respect your own schedule and people respect your schedule too is to actually have a schedule and like write out what you're doing for the most part. And then if you have like a gap, like on Wednesdays between 2 and 5, I have like this is just get done whatever needs to get done. And so if you have a schedule, you can either share that with people and they know what kind of window you have, or you can actually refer back to it and you're like, actually on my calendar right now, the only time I have to do something is I could help you Wednesday, but that's but I feel that too sometimes, and so sometimes I have to I do appreciate our pastor and leadership team for setting this rule of like the closed door policy. And so like we have offices and keep your door open as much as you can, because then when you shut the door, the goal should be if anybody needs you, they send you a text or an email and say, hey, when you have a second, can we chat? So if you got this closed door policy or this door policy or whatever we call it, those office hours help. Just to chat with people and let them know what's going on, and write out your schedule and what needs to happen and put a priority on it. Because I do that. Sometimes I work in a different part of the church, because when I'm in that different part of the church, people can't find me as easily, and so they have to send me a text. So like at my campus, I work sometimes in our workroom, which is like a dungeon basement thing underneath the stage. And I shut the door, and nobody necessarily knows I'm in there. So just don't tell anyone, please. You 300 people that are watching, whatever. But then they have to text me and say something, and I can just be like, yeah, I'm finishing something up. I can help you in a little bit. Yeah. Or,
Guys, I'd just like to say how confused I am, because the event that we created for this live stream is not live anymore.
Tony said it started a new stream.
It did.
Yeah,
and
but the chat's the same.
Worship Tutorials live stream, but it seemed like it carried everyone over.
It did, because it carried me over.
Maybe you can only have one live stream at a time.
Legitimately,
so
this is what YouTube shows me. I know you can't see this. It doesn't matter. I have no idea how to end this live stream.
We're just going to unplug the computer when it's
unplug
time.
The camera and the mic, and it's just going to go... So I need help. I need a production director. If you can work for free, that would be fine. All right.
Here's a good question.
I'm old and out of touch. Go ahead.
Mark Adams.
Yes.
He says, I'm a prior TD. I'm not sure what TD means.
Tech director.
Tech director. Okay, perfect. Last church wants me back and is the right fit professionally, but not personally. The new church isn't a right fit professionally, but are more personal and could really use me. Your thoughts? That's an interesting question.
I think you need to know more information.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be like a pretty classic scenario for a lot of people. When you're at one place and you're looking for something else, or something else comes up, that tends to be the case. I would say that's pretty.
Sorry for all that.
For
clinging.
one way. So I would just kind of, I think you have to decide, with your family and wife, if that's your situation as well.
Yeah.
Like, how are you happy here? What don't you like? And then, Michael Scott makes fun of Jim when he does it, but write a freaking pros and cons list. I'm a visual person, and so like
Leslie does
a
too.
calendar, Leslie Note does too. A calendar on my phone does not help me quite as well as writing it out myself. I have a month planner. That's all it is. I don't need like a timed thing. I just want to write it in the middle of the day.
So you're a fuller devotee there with the.
I am.
planner.
I know. Well,
Smart man.
I realized it was the only thing that made sense.
Yeah.
But I would just sit there and write it out and see, what's it worth? Like,
How could 100
do you
billionaires
get
be wrong?
do you get more time back, but you get less money? That may
Yeah.
be more valuable for you.
Yeah.
Do you get more money, but then you're going to be frazzled and stressed out? Is that worth what the next several years, couple of years may look like for you?
Yeah. I guess he's speaking professionally, like maybe his previous church, he'll make money. It sounds like, or is he saying both churches want to hire him? That would be the question.
Yeah.
And meaning that the previous church probably better financial situation, but the new church is probably better personally. I think that life is always going to be kind of like a balance, but when it comes to finances and income, I feel personally like life is always going to be a compromise and a give and take. You're always going to trade your preferences and passions for how much money you make. And I feel like it's kind of like a scale. And, there are seasons in life where some people are just like, you know what, I'm going to do this job even though I hate it and it's not my passion, but it's going to set me up financially to be where I want to be. And then sometimes there are seasons in your life where it's like, I don't even care if I'm broke. I'm not happy here, and I'm going to pursue this other thing. So I think like anything, you just got to weigh it out and make that choice based on what season of life you're in and what seems like a better idea.
This is a good topic to talk about. I mean,
it really is.
I don't know who was the person who asked this question.
It was
it Mega Man?
no,
Okay,
it was
because they talked about something about the team. I think a lot of, and I'm certainly not saying that this is what you're how you're making these, decisions, but a lot of times people will take church size and use that as like a larger church is a better place for me to go career-wise, and a smaller church would be like a step down. And I would encourage you not that, who was it?
Mark Adams.
So Mark, I'm not, of course I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but if a person is thinking that, I would encourage you not to consider moving from a larger church to a smaller church as a demotion or anything. In a lot of cases, it's like when it's like when a football coach goes from a really successful program and then a team that's struggling hires him to come in and turn the program around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a much more difficult task, and it calls for a much higher capacity leader to come into a situation that needs new life breathed into it, and to be the catalyst to do that.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's a lot easier to go into a larger church or a more well-oiled machine and just keep the machine going, right? It takes a better leader to come into a place that needs a lot of help and be the person that steers the ship or that helps that.
Well, he also said too. I'll add this to it. So professionally, meaning more the vibe I want to go for, more my style.
Makes sense.
But I fit better as a person at the new place.
Sense. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of factors, right?
That's an interesting question too, because it's like if you like this style, but you feel like you fit in better here, then maybe there's a deeper thing happening in you that God is trying to do,
Yeah, I would just, other thing, man, I would just seek God's, just like spend a lot of time in prayer. And I'll have something to say about this coming up, but just like really let the Holy Spirit, and that's a really personal thing and a mysterious thing, but let the Holy Spirit sort of direct you where to go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And okay, I'm going to jump off of that.
Jump off, Brian.
I'm going to springboard.
Spring it.
Fuller and I doubt any of the people that made these comments are watching right now, but Fuller and I did a Worship Leader Wednesday and we uploaded it a few days ago, Wednesday, about
What?
song selection.
Get out.
What?
Oh, song selection, yeah.
Right? And so we gave our tips for song selection. And the tips were, I don't remember. One of the tips was not pray. Okay, we did not say that as a tip.
Yeah, right.
Have you read the comments on that video?
Oh, you
Fuller?
should pray and seek God first?
Have you read them?
No, I
Okay, so
no.
there are many comments saying,
I'm sure.
"What?
Where does the Holy Spirit come in?
So surprised to
Yeah.
see that you didn't label prayer.
Yeah.
I just want to say as a
Which is
sort
funny
of
because that's a big assumption.
a public
should
service
be,
announcement,
yeah.
if you will,
Yeah, PSA.
that at worship tutorials, and we've said this so many times, when you're planning services, when you're deciding what career moves to make, when you're coming up with vision for your everything you do should be first directed by the Holy Spirit, and you should be
Praise
seeking
God.
God in prayer and petition and fasting if you want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, I think, a spiritual discipline that
Yep.
nobody talks about much. I like food, so I don't want to.
It's a tough one. That is a discipline.
Anyway,
If you get low enough, you will.
That supersedes everything.
Yeah.
And we didn't say it in that video, but we sort of just assume that.
Yeah.
And I understand that if we don't say it, people don't
Yeah.
think that you
Yeah.
assume that.
Yeah.
But if anyone watched that video and had those thoughts, or if any of you commented on that, it is that is where we believe that everything begins.
Yeah, and
The reason that we do everything.
it seems to happen a lot, and I would say, always assume the best of people, but it's kind of like, I compare it to like this, Brian.
Yeah.
If I go to college
Yeah.
to study physics,
Right.
and I start that class, and the professor starts teaching me physics, I'm not going to sit there and go, whoa, but what about 1 + 3 = 4? I mean, why, and so
Yeah.
why wouldn't we start from the beginning? Because we already know that stuff, right? And so I think a lot of times when you look, and this is, forget just worship tutorials, anywhere you go, because I feel like Christians do this a lot. They'll, somebody's gonna post a video on how to function well at a church staff by some killer leader that's been killing it, like Craig Rochelle, and he's gonna jump right to the high level stuff.
And we're really practical.
Yeah, and so
Did you just compare yourself to Craig Rochelle?
I did not.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, right. So you just gotta, I think as Christians, we gotta go into things assuming that, like, okay, you gotta have the basics, people.
Assuming that we believe God is in
Yeah,
control, it
otherwise,
should be,
yeah.
it should be the one that we petition to.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah.
helpful to go into all this stuff. We're teaching anything about worship, but we're assuming that you
Yeah.
have the basics of Christianity down.
Right.
Well,
And if every video had to cover that,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing this because that's all the videos would be.
And our
Yeah.
Worship Leader Wednesday series is meant to be ultra practical
For
Like,
worship leaders.
because we got frustrated.
minus the practicality of, I don't know, praying as a worship leader,
Yeah.
as a staff person,
we got-
at a church.
We got kind of, I would say, almost frustrated. Like, the reason we created that series is because we saw that there was a huge felt need for practicality.
Yeah.
Because so much instruction out there is very nebulous, if you will. Like,
Yes.
it's like,
It's
just
nebulous.
ask. Man, the office puns just keep coming.
We should just not say anything.
If
I
we
wanna
had
know
a
if people
video,
notice.
if we had a video about picking songs and creating set lists, and the point was pray,
Thank you for watching.
right, and like the Holy Spirit, like
Yeah.
that is, yes, you need to do that, but
Yeah.
honestly, that doesn't help people do their job that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because you still have to actually pick it,
Yeah.
and there are things that you need to think about when you pick the songs,
Yeah.
right? So, and I know that might get some pushback, but it's true. Like, I don't feel like while that is extremely important, it's also not very practical advice when it comes to, like, I'm in a meeting and we got to pick the songs right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit in that
Well,
meeting.
not many people pick songs the way we do either.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting down on Planning Center and I'm actually putting the songs together.
Yeah.
Like, certainly I hope you've prayed and sought God, but you actually have to do it now.
Yeah.
Well,
And not that...
Well, and there are
I'm
some
going to get
things-
myself in trouble.
And
because
I'll help you get in more trouble.
People are going to be putting
Yeah.
words in my mouth.
Yeah, I'll help you get in more trouble. I've never prayed, Lord, show me what the best key transition to go from C to G is. Because, like, that's craft.
Yeah.
Okay? That like learning your craft is so important. Now, you can pray that God helps you become better at your craft. You can pray for inspiration, all those things, but God wants us to be practical. He wants us to learn the craft. And I would say that worship tutorials exists to help teach you the craft of leading worship. We don't exist to teach. We're not like here for teaching you discipleship. That's
there's
not
a lot of
there's
resources.
Listen, if I want to be discipled, there's way better people to do it than us. But what we do well is teach you the craft of worship leading. That's what we feel called to do. And I think that's like anything in life. If you're a Christian plumber and you go to a seminar on plumbing, a Christian seminar in plumbing, it's like they're there to learn how to be a better plumber. Not,
I did some plumbing last night.
It's not easy
to tell.
Do it.
I replaced the washer, my clothes washer, the drip pan underneath my washer.
Oh, finally.
That's not
father-in-law.
plumbing.
Yes, it is.
Replacing a drip pan?
Because you have to plumb in the drain. So my father-in-law is a retired plumber, and he was a plumber all his life, and then he owned his own business for a long time. Anyway, I called him up. I was like, Denny, I need to replace this pan. How easy is this to do? He's like, well, it just depends. And so he walked me through.
Depends if you're a
Then he was
professional
like,
or not.
happy plumbing, Brian, and I got it done. Tell you what. All right.
So I wanted to chime in on this, but y'all were heated, so I just sat back and waited.
I know. I could tell you were
I was just like, I'm just gonna wait.
Go for it, Bradford.
It seems to me, as a worship leader, I'm pretty adamant about the fact, and I share this with my team. If you get so lost in worship while you're supposed to be leading people that you don't look like you're engaging them, to me, at times, that can be more selfish.
Yeah.
And this is a whole other topic, I think.
Boy, you're going to get yourself in trouble,
But
Bradford.
when I'm on stage, I feel like it's my job to make sure people connect with God, because there are people who show up week after week and have zero idea how to do it.
Right.
They don't know what it's like to truly engage with God. So my job should not be to be on stage and have my personal moment with God. I feel like it's a little selfish. My job on Sunday morning is to lead my people.
This is a good word. Yeah.
To lead people so they understand this is how we connect with God. And the way you do that is by making sure you're engaging with God and worshiping the Lord during the week.
Yes.
I spend lots of time listening to worship music, and I find myself crying. I found myself overwhelmed by the goodness of God in my personal private worship times. And then I understand how to lead songs better, and I'll be like, you know what? Before I sing this line or this verse or this chorus or whatever, if I need to, maybe I make sure I lean into this a little bit more, however that looks like. With that said, I think the same goes for planning songs. If you're telling me that before you plan songs, you have to pray, you must not be praying enough during the week. Because if you have to... Now, I will say, I've had plenty of times where I'm stumped. I'm trying to figure something out, and I'm like, nothing feels right, or these songs aren't working, or I'm just needing to be inspired. I need a fresh wind. I need a new fire. Like, sure, absolutely, I'm going to pray. But when we're sitting in a meeting, there's like 8 of us in a room planning songs. Campus worship leaders, we have some production people that join us too. Like, when we're in that room, like, if we're already spending time personally worshiping God, like, on our own, if we're spending time praying and just, like, doing our jobs, like, our job we should be researching songs. Like, we should be spending time, like, finding new music. And I try to do that more because it'd be real easy to get caught into the trap of, well, what's the most popular? Whereas that's not always what's the best for your church. So you're spending time praying and stuff. What you do in a meeting as you plan and as you lead worship, those things should be the overflow of what you're doing in your personal time. So sure, we pray before meetings. We pray after meetings sometimes too. We just ask God to like infuse us with ideas, and we just say, God, like, lead us in the way you want us to do this, and show us things. Those kind of things, those kind of prayers. It's probably pretty cliche actually, which is kind of funny.
But it's genuine. Yeah.
But it's genuine. But like, we do that, but we're so involved with this. This is our lifestyle. This is what we're called to do. I saw something where people, someone was making fun of the fact that worship leaders, like you go to a worship leader conference and like somebody comes out and is like, how's the tribe of Levi doing? And they're like making fun of it because like some worship leaders really latch on to the fact that they're technically in the tribe of Levi because the tribe of Levi was said to be the worship leaders.
Yeah.
It's funny. Anyways, internet's great. But like, if we're called to do this, we could say we're a part of the tribe of Levi, and what we're doing should just be an overflow. Like, it should just become second nature to what we do.
Bradford.
choosing a song
Yes.
should be. It shouldn't be choosing a song. It should be singing the song that God's put on our heart, which should be a little different than, oh, magic genie God, give me the answer right this moment for what I should do. So that's not the way. This is not the way.
Remember what you've just said,
Okay.
because we're gonna make a worship tutorials video out of it.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was real good.
Can we do it in like a room with a fireplace and like a deer head above it and like
Pretty
a bear head
soon
above it?
we're gonna be in a new room, Bradford.
Are you making that announcement?
No.
Okay, Jennifer just asked, how do you select songs?
But that was
Jennifer, go watch our Worship Leader Wednesday video.
We pray about
Yeah.
it.
We do pray about it.
We do.
But yeah, so
There's
2
a whole
days ago,
video of it.
Wednesday, Fuller and I shared tips for selecting songs. That's not the mechanics of how we. I mean, those are the mechanics of what we do.
Yeah.
But we do have a meeting where we sit
Yeah.
down and plan songs for like a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're constantly. So there's another caveat. I don't know. I didn't watch that video. Sorry, guys. I love you, but I don't have time to watch all the videos.
That's all good.
Do you watch all the
How
videos?
dare you.
Do you watch
You
all the
probably-
videos
I've
I'm
seen
in?
every guitar video you've
No, you
ever
have not.
recorded. Yes, I'm
No,
watching
because
one
you would
right
have
now.
you would have texted me a couple times when I played certain riffs. I know you would.
That's true.
But
I think I've seen one though.
but we do actually check
One,
up
like,
on our
200.
I mean, I
set
see you
list.
play live all the time, so that should
Actually,
count for
that's not
something.
true.
I've- yeah, well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
We do, like, every week, we talk about the week that's coming up, and we talk about the weeks coming up, and we're actually looking at each week several times before it happens. So, in that period of time, we will make changes, and we'll be like, you know what? We just did that song, like, 4 weeks ago, and it actually didn't really go too well.
Yep.
Because discernment and, just being in tune with things and being intentional, so...
Can I answer a support request real quick?
The patch question,
Yeah.
please.
Roman has a question about Axe 3 patches.
First off, you made a wise choice, my friend.
You've made a wise choice, my friend. Yes. I thought you were going to pick Mad Cow. All right.
Eventually, we'll get to your question, Roman.
So Roman says he has our free AC30 patch for Axe 3, and the volume level between scenes changes a lot. So there are 4 scenes that are going to change gain structure. The clean, going from clean to drive 1 to drive 2 to lead. So those volume levels will be determined by the 2 things: the setting on the drive pedals themselves. So if like going clean to drive 1 is too much of a jump, go to that drive 1 block and adjust the output level of the drive. It will change the gain structure. You'll get less overdrive, but it'll also give you less volume too. So you can do that for drive 2 and for drive 3, just depending on what you're doing. But if you go to the output block in Axe 3, on the second tab on the left, there's a thing called scene levels, and you can adjust the individual levels of each scene if you want. So I will often, on the lead guitar and on the Pog lead, which I think is scene number 7, I know these patches pretty well,
You
don't I?
do, man.
Yeah. I'm an Axe 3 nerd. So if you go to the scene
So
level
is Danny Elfman.
on
You're in good
4,
company.
yeah,
He uses
on
it.
scene
Yeah,
4
yeah,
and
now you
scene
really wanna
7,
know.
which are the lead scenes, often I will bump those levels up because for leads you're usually playing single note lead lines and you want it to stick out in a mix. So you can go adjust the scene levels to get you different output levels per scene. Hopefully that helps.
Also, Tony said that he loves that it's a leadership discussion, not just gear. You must not be around often because most of the time these are not gear discussions.
Yeah, we don't do gear.
We don't
Tony's
do
in
many
almost
gears.
all of these.
Tony
Huh?
watches a lot of live
He's
streams.
in a
you?
lot of these, yeah.
We don't. If we always hit on a couple things, but
I think the thing is when we get on the gear thing, sometimes it's like
It just goes it's a
forever.
snowball.
Well,
we
that's
get
the
a
only
ton
thing
of-
I'm good at.
We
so.
get a ton of gear questions.
That is not true, Brad. I don't
Obviously
ever hear
not,
say that
because
again.
you were spewing some pretty good some wisdom there in leadership.
I'm only
as
30. What do I know?
Here's a great question from Freddie Ellis. What are the best tips for getting used to a click track? Which is a great question,
Fall
which we're
asleep.
covering in the Worship Manual
Fall
Volume
asleep
2.
listening to one.
Fall asleep.
No,
Good luck with that.
tips to getting used to a click track. It's like anything, I think. The more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. My suggestion, when you first start using it, unless you're the drummer, okay? So if you're the drummer, you pretty much just got to go in, deep in, both feet, because you're holding down the fort. If you're a vocalist, I would just start really using it very lightly and start getting accustomed to, because if you just start and all you hear is clank, 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 it is going to mess you up. So I would start slow like anything and just gradually start bringing it in. Make sure that the songs you're doing you're very familiar with, so you're not relying on the click. You want it there to start getting used to it. You do not want to have to rely on it, which is why if you're the drummer, you don't really have a choice. You just got to like jump in there. But slowly, gradually bring it in. There are some weekends, like if we have a really solid drummer, I'll put the click so low I can even barely hear it. I can hear it just enough if everything stops. I can stay in time. Yeah. But there are some weekends where I don't even hardly hear the click because I know my man back there in the drum cage is holding down the fort. So, but yeah, there's a little nuance to it.
I think it just comes down to practice.
Practice,
you just
man.
got, so like literally for the last probably 7 or 8 years, I've rarely ever played a piece of music without a click track.
Yeah. To I like
even in practice.
Love using one, but I also hate that I don't get to play very often without one. But
I want to say acknowledge 2 super chats. One, Brad Miller. Thank you for your super chat. He says, "Happy New Year, guys."
Happy New Year, Brad.
Thanks for the content. Enjoy lunch. Bradford and I will. Fuller
doesn't eat lunch.
Fuller is always invited to come to Al's Burger Shack with us.
I was gonna say, well, maybe we'll find some time in the future.
Oh yes, we will. Here in about a week. And Malachi Skelly. Malachi, what an awesome name. I'd love to be Malachi.
That's not his real name. His real name is Kevin Skelly.
Is George?
Yeah.
All right. Will you guys do any electric guitar videos on Rend Collective songs like Your Name is Power or You Will Never Run?
They started using electrics?
Yeah, do they have?
I'm surprised.
It's called the
don't they have
electric-
this? Like,
I thought they were
don't
like
they have
a-
like this stick they
Yeah,
made?
seriously.
A whole bunch of
The
percussion on
electric
it?
banjo. We have not covered much as far as Rend Collective. Is Rend Collective, are they still as
Build
popular
your
as they used to
kingdom.
be?
I don't think so. I haven't heard a Rend
I
Collective
haven't
song
heard
in
a
a while.
Rend Collective.
Maybe they've
release in
tweaked
a
their
while.
sound a little bit. Maybe we should
I
go
don't
check them
know.
out.
Check them out for sure.
Well, I mean, Mumford & Sons now uses electric guitar, so I guess Rend Collective follows
Maybe
suit.
that whole acousticy thing is come and gone. Sort of pop music has sort of moved beyond it because there was for a while. Like, who did you just mention?
Mumford & Sons.
Mumford.
Yeah, that was
Mumford
the
and
whole
Sons
craze.
was huge for a while, but they've sort of. I mean, it's been pop music moves so fast.
Yeah, it does.
But
I'm
and
just
then-
stuck in the good old
and
rock
then-
and roll.
praise and worship follows behind a few years typically. They don't have to.
Lead pastor wants to start a service once a month that will bring back old hymns. We have been a modern worship
First
service
off,
for
that
about
is a good idea.
for about 3
what did you
years. Lead pastor wants to start a service once a month
gonna
that will
say,
bring
I
back the
don't
old
know where.
hymns. We have been a more modern worship for about 3 years. Very similar to Hope. Any ideas or thoughts?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I'm with Brad. I would just start bringing back hymns into your normal service.
Do
What
one a week.
about what about hers?
Hymns are a great connection to our past, and it's always gives people something they're familiar with if they've gone to church at all in their whole lives. My only advice would be, get to know the hymns. Don't sing an old classic hymn that everyone knows except you. I've seen that happen before. So really start finding some good arrangements of them. Keep them simple and just have fun with them.
Yeah.
There are plenty. A lot of times we've come up with, we found arrangements of hymns just by typing in the name of a hymn into Spotify. And like searching or sorting by name, and then you're like, oh,
There's a
look.
lot of great arrangements out there. It's true. Yeah, I agree. We do at New Hope. We kind of made a mandate a few years ago that we wanted to do one a week.
Yeah,
and
we
we're
do.
a pretty modern sort of,
Yeah.
if you think of a modern megachurch sort
Yeah.
of setting. But we do hymns, and sometimes they're like arrangements of hymns that are more modern. Sometimes it's just piano or
Piano and
vocals, and that's
yeah.
it.
And it's
Just
awesome.
Pretty traditional.
Always gets great feedback too.
Yeah.
We try to mix it up. We do like actually what's funny, Wesley Winford, I don't know if he's still in here, but Wesley is a new pal of mine. He works at Church of the Highlands, and he's like a musical director
Oh, wow.
of sorts.
No big deal.
And we
Church
do
of the Highlands.
their arrangement of Holy, Holy, Holy.
Church of the Highlands.
And I told him
pretty-
that.
Pretty well-known church.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
a
told him
great
that the other
arrangement,
day over tacos. He's like, dude, seriously? Like, he's like, we did that one a long time ago.
That's
And I
a
was
great
like,
arrangement.
We love it. Like,
Yeah.
Holy, 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 Jesus Reigns is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Hey, look at here.
There's a house.
Shane and Shane does have great arrangements
Yes,
for sure.
they did
Yeah,
it-
but
they
then when
did
you
a
when you
hymns
tune the
album.
multi-tracks so you can actually use them, they
'Cause
sound terrible.
they're so high.
They do this
high.
in E, and I need to do it in the key of B.
I have found that most Shane and Shane songs sound amazing when Shane and Shane sing them.
Or you just
Well,
have a female
I
lead,
actually
just the
think
way
a
it
female
came.
lead
Yeah.
would work well for
Those guys have such great voices. It's
Well,
depressing.
I find that a lot of times when you look at one of their songs, it's either too high for a male to sing or too low for a female to sing. So you got to do something.
Yeah, I would take them and pitch it up a few steps and go female lead.
Here's a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
I need you to put your thinking caps on.
I can't tell if you're being
Is the
sarcastic or not.
Helix still relevant in the age
Yes.
of Axe Effects?
Get out of here!
Bradford, you just got decapitated, but
I think
His
you're getting
capital
trolled.
is detated.
I think you're getting trolled. Jack, of course, it's
No,
one
I
of the
don't.
greatest
I don't
pieces
know.
of gear out there.
I think people actually.
No, I think he's being genuine.
I think
Oh.
because so here's the thing: Helix came out like 5 years ago, and Kemper came out before that.
But
And
NAMM
so,
is coming.
so Helix product life cycle. It's like
We don't know
We don't
nothing.
know anything.
We don't know anything, but we're just...
I know, I'm just
I
making
wish.
sure you don't. Because I love you guys.
I think Line 6 is going to one. It still sounds incredibly good.
Yeah.
And it holds up to all the other stuff. Axe Effects, Kemper, it holds up.
Talking about the Helix?
Yeah.
I was just
Dude,
making a device.
I used y'all's patch a couple weeks ago in Wake
Last
Forest,
night,
and I was like,
too.
Which patch?
this is money.
What?
It was the...
There's a bunch of them
Did
now.
you use this? Did he use your Helix?
No, you sent it to me. It was the
Helix?
worship tutorial.
He has a Helix.
What?
I used my rack.
Oh, you
I
brought
used
it
my
with you?
rack. But I did Mary Did You Know? Casting Crowns.
Oh,
version or
did you
whatever.
use the
Did you use the Planet Shakers
JTM
pads?
45?
I think it was a JTM 45.
Yeah,
I was hoping
that
you
patch
played
is
Shakers
money.
patch.
It was. I had to dial down the reverb just a touch, but it
So-
was
I told you that.
awesome. Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
think
making a divided by 13 patch right now, and it sounds delicioso.
it'll come soon. I think that Line 6 may or may not release a new Helix update.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Well, they're
I
always...
just said anything is possible. Like they may or they may. I think they will soon. I think they've got. I think they're gonna do more with it. Like I think they're gonna put out more firmware that gives us more effects, maybe more amps. Please
will
Line
see.
6, give us a Morgan AC20 in that Helix.
I don't know what I would want. Because every amp that I like is just based off of an amp that's already in the Helix.
Right. Yeah, either a Fender Deluxe or Princeton or something. Well, Princeton's. I could go for a Fender Princeton.
They don't have a Princeton.
So, Jack Uno did say, "I'm not trolling. I just bought one, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I like it."
Oh.
So I had that same experience
Yeah.
when I first bought the Helix because I was trying to get these like really pure, distorted, like overdriven classic amp sounds. But when it came to all of the ambient stuff, it was amazing. You got to start looking into IRs.
Yeah.
Because when you get like the Tone Junkie IRs, makes a huge difference.
Download our free AC30 patch for the Helix at Worst Tutorials. You get the premium Tone Junkie IRs with it, and it sounds good.
Justin, you may have to flip the phase. So if it sounds thin in mono, but it sounds good in stereo, it's the
that's
phase. That's a phase issue.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into gear land here.
Jude, did I say that right? JHUD. Jude?
It was also a customer.
Thank you for your super chat. If you have a question,
No, I mean like
right
the
after
comments.
that, you just said thank you guys. So we appreciate that. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer, let us know. Tag us like right at Worst Tutorials and ask your question because that way we'll see it. Yeah.
Gear.
Mark Adams said the AC20 patch he posted, which we posted a vid demo for our Axe Effects 3 AC20 patch yesterday. It made him sad because he sold his AC20.
Oh, that's sad. Let's all pause for
The
a moment.
Morgan
Silence.
AC20, if I were going to go back to amps and pedals and stuff, Morgan AC20 is the amp I'd do it with.
I don't even know what I would use.
Yeah, that's a great question. If we were going to go to amps and pedals, let's
Oh
pose
my
that question,
gosh.
and then we'll got to sign off because it's after.
All right, you first, Brian.
If we were going to
All
go...
modelers cease to exist. You have to pick an amp.
You got to go old school. You got to go back to amps and pedals. I'm picking the Morgan AC20 because it's my favorite sound of anything that I've ever played. And are we going to do pedals too?
No, I don't think.
Okay, because that'll be here.
Yeah,
for
there's a billion of those. All right, Morgan AC20.
Morgan AC20.
With what guitar? Just
do I have to pick one guitar?
yeah, just pick one guitar
I hate
because that
these
completes the sound.
Oh man,
Well,
Telecaster.
it's what
Tele-
gives you the sound.
With singles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Traditional Telecaster.
I don't even know. I think I want like a Benson.
Oh my gosh.
Chimera?
I think I want a Benson Chimera.
Or Monarch. Yeah.
You know
What is the Chimera? Is that the Vox styled
What's
one?
the price?
I think
price range?
both of them have. I think
Or
all
can
the
they
amps have a
switch?
switch. I think. I
How
don't
much is that
know.
going to set you back?
Like $2-ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
If more, not more. Between 2 and 3.
You may be surprised by my answer.
I thought it's going to be a
You
Fender.
want a Marshall?
I am going to be at that point in time, I will be officially switching to bass full time, and I'm getting a Fender Bassman, and I'm just that's it. And
Fender
that's
Bassman,
it.
but that works for guitar.
If I have to go back to guitar amps, I'm switching to bass.
I will say this: the most
Bringing the same
glorious.
Seriously.
Okay, so I've
Fits
never,
the case.
Yeah.
I've never actually plugged a guitar into a Morgan AC20 and played it. I've only played it through the Axe FX and the Kemper profiles and stuff. But like they sound all the same. Like I can tell I love that thing. The best amp that I've ever actually plugged a guitar into, strummed a chord, sat back and just said,
Deluxe Reverb.
"Oh my goodness, no!" It was a Third Power British Dream Mark
interesting.
II. So that would be runner-up. Third Power British
That's
Dream.
good.
It gives you different. It gives you like all these different Vox. The Vox
Yeah.
AC30 is my jam. Okay, so it gives you
You
all
like
these
that,
different
huh? You like
Vox.
that box?
Uh,
I would go
voices.
Fender Twin probably if that in a Strat. That
I
would
don't
be
know.
mine.
I only have experience with modeled and profiled amps.
Yeah, you don't know what they.
I don't really
truly
use.
sound
I like
yeah.
used the Blues Junior for the longest time.
We'll have Michael
was your
Britt.
amp, was
Let's
Blue
get Michael
Junior.
Britt on the next live stream.
Yeah,
and
you
let
can
him
tell us.
answer
We
that
could
question. 'cause he's probably
probably
played-
get a hold of him pretty easily.
He's played every amp on the planet.
Well, so did Jonathan Sullivan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
thank
that's
you guys for joining
That
us.
was a fun little experiment.
That was a little bit of everything.
Sorry about the stream
I
problems.
legitimately don't know how to stop this.
I'm
thing.
just gonna go unplug the camera.
Well, and the mic.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do the mic first.
Okay.
All right, we're signing off.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Brian,
watching.
hit the
Dude,
stop stream button.
Where's that button? Where do
Let's-
you see that?
What if I go to control room? What
There
if
is
you
no
hit
stop
that?
stream button.
What
It
if you
goes
do
to
that?
this weird. All right, so we're gonna try and stop this thing. It goes to this screen, which I don't know. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, see, it doesn't let me.
Manage? I don't know. We just unplug.
We don't know how to.
YouTube is fritzing.
We don't know how to do this.
YouTube, if you got 'em.
If you what? Fuller's singing a song.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay.